Hello everyone and welcome back to Little K Artistry. So glad to have you here again. I'm Little K and I'm in my studio today, obviously, working on a new piece. It has been a couple of days since I have been with you and I've missed everyone and all your wonderful comments and suggestions and all of the participation. I appreciate you all so much. And recently I've been pretty much got my head in the clouds and I am working with the cloud mix. And as I've said before, the cloud mix with regard to the colors, this is the only kind of fluid art in which I do use US Floetrol. So my colors are all mixed with US Floetrol, and they're either 2 or 3 parts US Floetrol and paint, depending on the paint variety. Some paints have higher pigment and they can use more Floetrol in the pouring medium, and other paints are less pigmented, so I use less Floetrol. And then I just thin them down with a little water to a 2 or 3 second trace in the cup. And that just means that when you use a stir stick and you are mixing your paints and you drizzle a little bit along in your cup like that, it takes 2 or 3 seconds for the drizzle to disappear off the top of the cup, and it's 2 or 3 seconds. I do like to have my paints a little bit thicker, but that's just my personal way that I like to do it. You might like it differently, and that's totally fine for you. This is a 14 by 14 inch canvas, and for this I am going to be putting down a little bit of a base coat. I'm also going to be using, in order to dampen my canvas in the beginning, I'll be using a little bit of Flow-Aid and water, and then that just dampens the canvas and makes the base color a little bit thinner so that I can smooth it out a little bit. And then I will be using my little 5-ounce cup. And this is all that is needed on a canvas this size. I have been practicing, as you've seen some of the videos before this, hopefully. Then you will know that I've been practicing with various sizes and different shapes. I have circles and also I have these squares, and some of them are rectangular. But I have found that these little 5-ounce cups are perfect for these 14-inch canvases. If I was to do a 16-inch canvas, I probably could get away with still the same 5-ounce cup, but might have to go a little bit bigger than that for a rectangular or a larger shaped canvas. So having said all that, I want to say hello again. Welcome to all of you who are returning subscribers. Thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. And for those of you who are new, thank you for joining me at Little K Artistry today. I am excited to have you here. This video is a little bit different. As you can see, I have a different camera angle, a little bit different. Some of you had mentioned that when I had my camera off to the side and I was pouring this way, it was a little bit harder for you to see when I was filling the cup, and also when I do my serious cloud pours, when I was adding in the cloud mix, it was hard for you to see how I was doing that. So I have listened and I have switched out my camera angle so it is more head-on. I hope this is better. If it's not, I'm sure you will comment in the comments below. So give a shout out, let me know from where in the world you're watching this. I hope you enjoy this one. This one is going to be mostly blues. In fact, might do a tiny bit of purple and possibly some black, but I would like to have blue and white, mainly blue and white, and I'm selecting my paints. Probably going to use 4. I'm thinking I'm going to use 4. I will call them out as I use them and will hopefully make something really pretty. And I never know how it's going to come out. It may end up looking like butt, but you know what I say, at least it will be pretty butt. So let's go ahead and get going with this. So I am going to do my canvas first. And again, this is the Flow-Aid. This is a Liquitex product. Flow-Aid is mixed with water, and you can just follow the directions. It is 1 part Flow-Aid to 20 parts water. And all this does is it just smooths out and moistens my canvas a little bit so that when I go to put the actual paints on it, it's slippery. It has something to slide around on. And those of you who have seen some of my videos, if you've watched some of my videos, you will know that I do fluid art. I also do non-fluid art, and in the form of some pieces that I do that have texture on them. I do some texture art. That is not fluid art, that is stationary art. And in order to make this fluid art so that it doesn't become stationary art, I need to move around on my canvas. So that is why I use the Flow Aid and water mixture first, just to kind of moisten the canvas a little bit, makes it slippery. And that is all that's needed. That Flow Aid is a tiny little bottle. It lasts a really long time because you don't need to use very much of it. In fact, I will show you right here. That is the Liquitex Flow Aid. And again, 1 part Flow Aid, 20 parts water. That's all. All right. I will add the base coat right before I pour the cup. For right now, I am going to go ahead and do, I think I'm going to do it with a light center. So I'm starting with, this is TLP Unicorn. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the unicorn in the bottom of the cup. It's not very much. Hopefully you can see how much is in the bottom of that cup. Not very much at all. And that is the first color you put in ends up being in the center of your painting because it is the last one that comes out of the cup. And I do want a lighter center for this one. So that is why I'm using the TLP Unicorn. I'm also going to use on top of that some TLP Meteorite. If you're not familiar with the TLPs, they are this little piggy and they are pigments. So the pigments, in order to mix my pigments in with my pouring medium, which again is the Floetrol, I suspend the pigments in a little bit of water first to moisten them. And then I add a little, just a tiny bit, not very much, of the Saks gel medium. And I don't have that right, that's on my, you can't see it because it's behind my camera, it's on my shelf over there. It's Saks SAX, and it's True Flow gel medium. I mix all my TLPs, a little bit of water to moisten them, and then I mix them with the Saks gel medium, and that makes them into essentially a tube paint. And then I mix them as I normally would with 2 to 3 parts of that color and US Floetrol. All right, so then on top of the Meteorite and the Unicorn, I do want to put a tiny bit of a lighter blue or teal blue, and this is Turquoise green, and that is from Amsterdam. It's just a tiny little bit of that. So what I want is a really light center here. Then, now this is a cloud pour, a traditional cloud pour. It is not a cirrus cloud pour. So I'm not adding in the cloud mix as I go, but I will be adding it to my cup. So I'm going to add some of the cloud mix. I want a good amount in there. And then on top of that, I am going to put a tiny bit more of TLP Unicorn. Not very much at all. And then we're going to go with 2 paints the rest of the way. Just a little bit. This is Amsterdam's Brilliant Blue. This is Ultramarine Blue, and that is Liquitex Basics. Ultramarine Blue. And this is, I believe, Prussian Blue by Amsterdam. A little bit more of that, Prussian Blue. And then I am going to put a tiny bit of the Oxide Black. Not much. And then a little more of the Prussian Blue. Okay. Oxide Black. Perfect. Well, it's going to do a little bit of purple, but I think I'm going to keep this one to blue. And what we'll do here is a little bit of the Prussian Blue as the base coat. You can see how that Flow Aid and water mix makes this move around really well on the canvas. And that is the goal. I want a little bit of a base, not very much, but a little bit. To make sure that I have a nice, smooth, wet surface for the colors in my cup when I pour them out. Have to make sure the surface is wet enough so that the paints will move, otherwise it is not fluid art. It is stationary art, and that's not what we want here. Okay. Fantastic. Smooth this out a little. Get the bubbles out. Okay. And away we go. Okay, we'll see if we can make something pretty here. That is that Prussian blue that came out first, because that's the last one I put in. A little bit of the black. Start to see those beautiful blues coming out. A little bit of that turquoise green. Ooh, that's pretty. And then in that very center, we're going to start to see those last two colors I put in. Oh, almost perfect. Okay, so now we wait. Okay. Sorry about that. Had to turn off my heat. I am of the age where I get hot flashes very easily. And if the heat is on, oh my goodness. It's crazy and not good at all. Okay, so what you can see here is all of those light colors that I put in first. They are in the center, obviously. And I feel pretty good about how well I centered it. That was really good. So they're in the center. There's a little bit of that Prussian blue, and then the black, and then more Prussian blue on the outside edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this a couple of spins just to expand and stretch the painting just a little bit. And then once I do that, I kind of reevaluate. See if there are more bubbles that need to be popped. And I need to put a little bit more butane in my... This is just... The link to this is below in the video. And it's just these refillable little tubes. Very easy to do. I think you can get a set of 5 of them. when you buy the refills, I think they come in sets of 5. Okay, that is, oh, wow, that's looking beautiful. I'm so glad I selected these colors. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna spin it again, just to, again, stretch get the center part a little bit to stretch out a little bit. I want the composition to cover most of the canvas, but I would like to keep some of this dark, if possible, some of this dark on the outside edge. We'll see. A couple more spins. I don't like to spin it more than a couple of times because sometimes you can overstretch the design, and sometimes you want to pull it this way or you want to pull it that way, and if you overstretch it, you can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to pull it this way to see if I can stretch a little bit of this off and bring it closer to these corners because it's a little off center at the moment. I'm going to go this way this time. Oh, that is looking so, this looks like a planet. This is, I really like how this is coming out. Okay, now I'm going to center it back again. I don't know if you all can see the colors of these clouds in the middle here, but oh my word. So the difference, while I'm waiting for this to, these clouds to expand a little bit more, I will tell you a little bit of the difference between a traditional cloud pour. This could be a cumulus cloud pour because these kind of look like cumulus clouds, versus the cirrus cloud pour, which is what I've been doing before, which is when I don't put any cloud mix or very little cloud mix, maybe in the bottom of the cup, but I layer the cup with just the paints and then I add the cloud mix in as I'm pouring it. That's a cirrus cloud pour. And what that does is it gives you the lines of cloud, like cirrus clouds. This is more of a cumulus cloud because you've got clumps of big clouds. So the only difference in doing that is the way in which you pour the cloud mix, either in the cup or outside of the cup as you're pouring the colors out. That's the only difference. The mix is exactly the same. So I'm going to pull this a little bit this way, just to cover those corners a little more. And then what I might do is actually stretch the corners too as we get going here, but let's see. I wish I could keep it the way that it is right now because to me this looks like the moon with the sky element. I might actually do another one like this on a bigger canvas and leave it like this and then do a starry sky, paint a starry sky on the outside. I'm really getting very inspired by this one. I don't want to spin it anymore because I just love the way that it looks, but I also do need to spin to get some of this paint off of the canvas and also to stretch the composition a little. So let me just do another couple of spins. Oh my, that's pretty. Lovely. That's just beautiful. This is another reason why I really like using those smaller, the little 5-ounce cups on this size canvas, because I end up not spinning off all of the composition. And sometimes when if you keep pouring the paint from the cloud pour onto the canvas, you're like, oh, that's pretty, and you don't stop. You end up pouring all the paint on, so there's too much paint, you have to spin it all off. And then you lose a lot of the composition, but I love this one. I really love this one. This is looking so, so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna spin one more, couple of revolutions around here, stretch it a little more. There we go. Oh my goodness, how pretty is that? I don't want to stretch this anymore. I really don't want to spin it anymore, you guys. Oh, I really want to stop here, but I feel like there's still a little bit too much paint on the canvas, and I'm so torn. I really, really, really like how this is turning out. I feel like if I let it dry now, I could go back over it once it's dry with a brush and paint the Prussian blue and fix anything that might be a problem, or like any of these little lines from where I scraped with the scraper. I feel like I could just leave it like this, and I might, you guys, I might just leave it like this. I love this. This is so pretty. What to do, what to do? I do not want to stretch this anymore, you guys. I do not want to stretch this. I love it exactly the way that it is. This looks like a planet in the sky to me right now. What to do? This is a dilemma. I don't want to spin it anymore. But I'm afraid if I leave too much paint on, it won't dry correctly. Let me test the depth. This will be the answer. I'm going to test the depth of the paint, and if it's not too thick, I'm absolutely going to leave it the way that it is. Oh, so close. It's not too thick. This is just, what do you guys think? I really feel like I should. I'm going to spin it this way just because that side is off and this one isn't. I want to spin just like one or two. Stretch that a little bit more. I feel like I have to leave it like this, you guys. I really feel like I have to leave it like this. Okay, I am going to leave it like this. I'm gonna come over there and zoom in a little bit and bring you in a little bit closer so that you can see. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm seeing here, but to me, this looks like a planet or maybe the moon. And I don't want to mess with it. Let me see what so is it waning or is it waxing? Okay, nope. I think the way you're seeing it right there, I think that's the composition. I think the moon is waning. So let me come over there and zoom you in. Don't know if that overhead light is giving off anything. Oh, it's not. Hey, this camera angle's pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. I apologize if I'm making you dizzy. Tell me if I'm making you dizzy. But what do you think? I mean, I really feel like this just has to stay. It has to stay this way. What do you think? I don't think I need to stretch it anymore. I really like. Oh, the center is just about perfect. This looks like a planet or the moon or something. Definitely looks like some kind of a celestial body of some kind. Or maybe, I don't know, something in the ocean? I don't know, would there be something like that in the ocean that would look like that? I don't know, you guys, but I don't want to mess with it. I'm just gonna leave it like that and hopefully it will dry right. I'll be back in a couple of days. Oh, there's a spot right there. I'll be back in a couple of days to show you guys what it looks like, but I am really loving it, and I think the only thing that I'll have to do, possibly, once it's dry, is touch up this edge here because there's a couple of lines, and then there's some lines over here, but some of them go that way because I used my spatula to get the paint on the corner. I'm so glad I used a dark background, you guys. I think that was a really good choice. Okay, so leave a comment. Let me know what you think down below, please. I'm really eager to hear what you guys think. And I think the next one that I want to do, I think I want to do with purples instead of blues, because I have this really beautiful pearl lilac from Arteza. And then I have also another pearl, and it's pearl purple. And I really want to try those with my Windsor violet. Okay, so leave a comment, let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me. If you've not yet subscribed, please do. And if you have, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I am starting next week with a new series. I'll be starting that on Monday next week. And this is Monday right now, so it'll be in about a week. I will be posting some new videos in that new series. But until then, enjoy these. Go back and look at the other ones that I've done. I've got my head stuck in the clouds at the moment, so it looks like I'm going to be doing this for a while. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. I know that it's valuable, and I'm so glad that you took a few minutes to spend with me here in my studio today. Thank you so much. This is Little K reminding you, go make the art.